Hello, guys. Video Psych here. Now, and again, this is probably one of the last times I'm going to bring up something that's been coming up lately because I am still getting comments on that one video I made a long time ago about it. It was titled, why some people replace women with love dolls and such. And I'm to this day, I'm still getting comments on this video, even stating things like, "Why are you saying shit like people can just get laid and blah blah blah?" And as I'm reading it here, and of course, I've been deleting these comments because, again, I've just been having enough of this. I've tried talking to these people in the past, and I've pretty much just given up. I mean, after about a year of trying to talk to these people, I've seriously just given up. But just for the record, I never ever said anything like, "Oh, you can just get laid." And I know I've stated this in another video, but I'm making a video based on it because I'm still getting comments like this every now and then. So here we go. And another thing, when I was talking about, going to prison to get laid and all that, that you can literally just, let's say, assault a police officer per se and go to prison and get laid. I mean, when I said that, I was actually kind of joking around, but I also was saying it because, one, it is actually something you can do, even though I probably wouldn't recommend it. And also, it's just, I sometimes just make fun of things that are just dumb like that. And every time I think that something is just really dumb, that's just how I make fun of it sometimes. Because you know, saying something like you can't get laid is just fucking ridiculous. Like, and then, I'll even tell them, be like, "Hey, man, get a fucking hooker or something." It's like, "Oh, yeah, but that's illegal." It's like, "Hey, I mean, there's some places you can go to, though. I mean, there's downtown New York, there's even Washington, D.C., not far from the White House. There's actually some good hooker places. And then there's probably the only one that I would recommend, though, is going to Vegas, though. But you can only go to the whorehouses in certain districts. You can't actually go to Vegas and actually get a hooker. I mean, you can, but you could actually get arrested for that. So you actually have to go outside of the Vegas city in some of the districts that are outside of the city itself, actually, where it is actually legal to do that. And there's actual security and all that. So that's probably, if you're going to get a hooker, that's probably the only place in America that I would recommend actually going to. But yeah, just saying shit, like some of these kids are saying. And another thing, man, like, it's pretty obvious to me because a lot of the incels are people that are younger adults, like 18, 19 years old, maybe. It's pretty obvious to me that there's some grown-ups that are telling these kids about these things. And it's also probably some high school peer pressure as well. And maybe, although there are, of course, some of the other ones that probably aren't actually good people, but it's pretty obvious to me that with so many thinking this way, that there's somebody, a grown up possibly, or grown ups, telling these kids something that is not true and things that aren't true. I mean, per se, just because you're a victim doesn't mean that you're owed anything in life. I was a victim once in my life, and I didn't get jack shit for it. I was in a hospital for at least a month at one point. I got questioned and all that, but just because you're a victim doesn't mean that you're going to get something out of it or that you're owed something. Now, the only times when somebody is a victim and they've been owed something is when our government has legitimately fucked up and they gave them money for it. That they legit fucked up, they got caught, and so they paid the person that they wronged. Now, in those cases, it makes a little more sense, though. But yeah, just because you're a victim doesn't mean that, you're owed anything. Also, just because you're a good person, even if you are a really good person, doesn't mean that you're owed anything. And also, people in this country, also women, including are not your sex objects. They are human beings just like us. And I understand that a lot of guys and people think that men and women are so different, but the truth is we're just human beings. And as far as getting laid goes, one thing, and I guarantee you this is going to help you get laid in the future, is knowing the fact that it is their choice whether they want to have sex with you or not. Now, if you come up to somebody and ask them for sex, if they say no, that is their fucking choice. That is not your fucking choice. Now, some people can be really shitty about rejecting you, but why in the world would you want to go out with somebody like that anyway? Why in the world would you want to go out with somebody like that anyway? Is my question to you guys. If they don't want to go out with you and they're a shitty person, then who cares? Just fucking move on. It's like, oh, this person is having sex with somebody else instead of me. Well, just fucking move on. I don't know what to fucking tell you. Just fucking move on to the next person. And when it comes to sex, it's not about how good of a person you are. It's never hardly been about, how good of a person you are. It's more about mutual attraction. Now, does this mean that everybody that's in a relationship with somebody either loves or is attracted to them? Not always. I mean, shit, look at fucking Trump. You think that all the women that go out with him are attracted to him? Of course fucking not. I mean, even the women that used to go out with him have stated that they weren't attracted to him. No offense. But just in accordance, when it comes to getting laid and being attracted to somebody, it's not so much about how good of a person they are. In fact, it's hardly ever been about that. Now, if let's say you're doing things that somebody agrees with and likes, now that can kind of count into that and go towards, wanting them to have sex with you in the future sometimes. Let's say you're the parent of somebody's children and you're, taking good care of the kids. Well, maybe in the future, that's something that your wife likes. That's something that she agrees with. And, at some point she is going to have sex with you. I mean, I'm not always going to say, oh, just because you're nice, so that's just going to lead to sex. That's not what I'm saying. Because even if you are being nice, that doesn't mean they're going to have sex with you. Because for all you know, that they're so damn tired from work that they're just too tired to have sex with you or whatever. Or maybe they just aren't up for it, etc. But I just always think it's so funny, these people, they act like, oh, if I'm good enough at sports, that will, make women more attracted to me and blah, blah, blah. Or if I do this, it'll lead to more sex. Or blah. Or if I say this, to a woman, that'll trick them into thinking that they want to have sex with me, like some kind of hypnotist or something. That's just not how getting laid fucking works. I'm sorry, but in the real world, when you get off of your damn computer and stop complaining about you not getting laid and actually go out into the real world, you're going to see that that's not how getting laid actually fucking works. And that's what I've been trying to tell you guys this whole entire fucking time. I'm not trying to say all incels are bad. What I'm trying to tell you is you need to wake the fuck up, is what I'm trying to tell you. That is what I am trying to tell you the entire fucking time, is wake the fuck up and get real. Because it is pretty damn obvious that what you guys are doing is not working at all. I know my fingers are going up like doo-doo-doo. But still, that's just not how the real world works at all. And if you go out into the real world, you will see that that's not how it fucking works. People, including women, are not your damn property. And that's just how it works in this country. That's how it is starting to work actually in a lot of countries, actually. And even when you're in a country where it's not the woman's choice whether to marry you or not, what that means is that you have to talk to the parents before talking to the woman intended, it is still not your choice to get married to them. You first have to go to the parents, and most likely the father figure, and you have to ask them politely if you can marry their daughter. And whether they say yes or no, you can't do anything about it. Even if the woman likes you, you can't do anything about it because the father says no. And that's how it works in marriages like that, is that even though the woman might not have a choice to marry you, or I would say in a case, have a right, in this case, you still have to go through the father figure of the family and ask them if you could please marry the daughter, and it is their choice, not yours. But of course, with that being said, I guess I'll stop talking about it. Of course, if you guys have any more questions about this and what's been really going on, you can go right ahead and ask. But as far as this whole, trying to approach me like this, like, oh, I just said shit like people can just get laid. No. I mean, there may be times when you can easily get laid, but there's never a time when you can just get laid. I mean, that's part of the reason why we get love dolls in the first place. Or get hookers, I guess, depending on what you want to do. But yeah, man, this is just so fucking stupid. And, the whole thing about worrying about being a virgin, just because you're a virgin doesn't mean jack shit. I mean, if it means anything, what that means is that you don't have any diseases, you're healthy. In fact, there's actually plenty of women that actually like that, if anything. It's more of an assurance that you don't have any diseases on you or nothing, and that you aren't just looking for sex, that you're looking for something else as well. Of course, that doesn't always mean that, but that's just something to take into account. But you know what's really bad? You know what's worse than being a virgin? You know what's actually bad? How about you lose your virginity to somebody and then they toss you out like you're candy or trash after they had sex with you? You know what that's like? Well, I do. In fact, I would actually rather be still a virgin than have lost my virginity the way that I did. You guys do not want to lose your virginity like I did. It was actually not a fun experience, and even the sex wasn't really that enjoyable, to be frank. But again, with that being said, I will just end this video here. And again, if you guys have any more questions, you can go ahead and ask me or whatever if you want to just kind of continue this conversation. But again, no more of this whole attacking me bullshit. No more of this, oh, he said people can just get laid bullshit. Because I'm just done with it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.